we're there. We are at the top of the hour. So welcome everyone. My name is Nicolette and I'm your moderator for today's call. I'm going to get my notes up. I forgot to grab those. Let me get those up so I can guide us accurately. So these support calls we started last year, and we've decided to give a bit of a deeper offering now because you all are so ready to go deep. So we're like, well, let's just give them what they want. So now we've extended these to 90-minute calls from 60 minutes. So they're now 90-minute calls, and we're going to include a practice theme. And today's practice theme is honoring your core needs in relationship. So over the course of the call, we will do Q&A, opening Q&A, and I'll talk a bit about how we do that. So that is available, that kind of support is still available as a part of these calls. But then we'll also include a practice. And for today's practice, John would like everyone to have a notebook or pen or a piece of paper, you know, old school, write down some journaling. So as I'm doing my intro, if you don't have a piece of paper and pen nearby, please feel free to grab that so you'll be ready when that time comes. But we will be doing a practice and reflection so that you can go deep in your own practice. So even if John doesn't work with you individually today, you will be getting something from this call that you can bring into your life. So if you do want to ask a question to John over the course of the call, you can do that by raising your hand. And in the new Zoom format, so most of you probably have the update, you can do that by going down to the reactions. So at the very bottom of your screen, there's a reactions button. And when you press that, there's a thing that says raise hand. It's very odd. There's all kinds of reactions at the top, various kinds, but then at the very bottom there's a big bar that says raise hand, and that you just push that and boom, you will raise your hand to ask a question. Otherwise, you can do that using the participants button, and then raise hand shows up in the chat box once you open the chat. So those are the ways to raise your hand. If you still can't figure it out, you can private message me and I can help you so that you can get into the queue to ask a question for today. We love having you on video. Most of you are, and thank you. I do want to point out, and I want to make this really clear, that we do post this on YouTube. We post on our virtual workshop. We unabashedly make this available to our whole community, even those who can't be here live. So if you are not comfortable with having your face on YouTube or on the virtual workshop, that is totally fine. You can be off camera. You can also set yourself up with a pseudonym. I will call your pseudonym name, so we'll be respecting that. If you do ask a question, your question will be on YouTube and could potentially be on Instagram as well. So you can set yourself up to be off camera if that makes you more comfortable. But I just wanted to make that 100% clear. And if you are not comfortable with that, just let me know and we can try to work with you on that as well. Because we want you to get support. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, so just to add something there, Nicolette,
yeah.
If you want to ask a question, but don't want to be like just clear, like, hey, I don't want any of this information spread out anywhere, then please feel free to do that. You can ask a question and then tell us after the fact, like, hey, that was a little too vulnerable for me to include anywhere or share anywhere. Like Nicolette said, we just want you to have the support that you need, but we also want to, give the information to as many people as possible.
Thanks. And then the chat box. So already you all have started chiming in on the chat. This is a space for the additional portion of community. So some people get distracted by chat, totally fine. You don't have to pay attention to the chat box if you don't want to, but it is there so that community can be formed there as well. So if you want to, chat with each other about what you're getting from the experience, supporting each other, it's a really, really beautiful way that people do feel supported. However, please do not use that as a space to self-promote, to criticize each other. Really, it should be a place of support. If you do have like a piece of advice or a resource that you want to share, that's totally fine. Just please ask for permission first. So you can ask, invite someone, hey, I have a resource, I have a book that you might like, I have a website you might like, that's totally fine. Or I have a thought on that. Would you like to hear it? If they say yes, go for it. If they say no, then just let it be. And John doesn't really follow the chat. So if you have things for John, the best way to talk to John is to raise your hand and get into the queue. So then the last thing is, this is a free call, but we'd really appreciate your support for Claire's Place Foundation. So it continues to be that kids with cystic fibrosis are really struggling in this time. And so if you are able to support with a donation, I'll put the link in the chat. We would really appreciate your support. And obviously this is an organization that is very dear to John's heart. So yes, I will put that in the chat as soon as I'm done. So if you have any questions over the course of the call, logistical questions, please feel free to chat with me privately. You'll also see, for example, Ted Ryder has assistant team next to his name. He's there to support. So there are several of us who are here who are part of the team that can help you out if you need it. And without further ado, I will pass it over to John.
Thank you, Nicolette. Yeah, this has gone on so long, and kids with cystic fibrosis, especially in their late teens and early 20s, can't work, can't leave the house. Their families are really struggling. So, this is such a heartbreaking thing for me to watch. And Claire's Place is the foundation that I started with Claire and her mother about 7 or 8 years ago. And the primary purpose is to give money to families and young adults with cystic fibrosis. You can see all the stories on the website. So pretty much the money is just flowing straight through to families with cystic fibrosis who are trying to navigate this insanely difficult time for anyone with chronic and lethal lung issues. So I really appreciate it. I really appreciate any support that you can give. And with that, let's bring something to the floor. It could be your butt, it could be the soles of your feet, something that can make contact, strong contact with the floor. And I want you to go ahead and close your eyes, and I want you to either press, maybe you're pressing your sits bones down into the floor, maybe you're pressing the soles of your feet down into the floor. And I want you to just start to, as you're making deeper contact with the floor, I want you to bring all of your awareness down to the place of contact with the earth. And start to feel, as your breath deepens, the hum beneath your feet or the hum beneath your sit bones. Just make a connection with the great she and feel how there's this really beautiful flow of energy, source of energy, hum of energy. And begin to deepen your inhales and press down now, like really make a point to through the top of your feet, through the calves, through the tops of your knees, pressing your body into the earth, feeling down as if your sits bones and the soles of your feet had a root system that could just spread deep into the earth. And notice what kind of texture, what's the texture of earth beneath you? I'm here on Kauai, so it's lava rock, right? There's rock, or maybe you're in the mountains and there's very deep granite. Feel like make a relationship, make a connection down to the earth. Continue to press down, continue to deepen your breath in and out through the nose for now. And then as you're doing that, I want you to make the core of your body nice and strong. So from your throat down to the base of your body, down to your perineum, I want you to make it really strong, like you're about ready to do something important or say something important, make a speech, make a declaration, take a stand. Take a stand for people who need support. Take a stand for people you love. Take a stand for yourself. Let your core get nice and strong, your iron shirt, as they say in Qigong. But just fire up that iron shirt and deepen the breath now. And I want you to, while you're doing this, strengthening the core, grounding down into the earth, soften your heart. So, can you strengthen the core while also relaxing open and softening the muscles of your heart? Go ahead and take an inhale, and then on the exhale, just allow a sigh to come out that softens your heart. So letting the sigh soften your heart. And take another inhale, even deeper now, without losing this ground, without losing the strength of your iron shirt. Keep letting the sigh soften your heart even more. And then one final inhale. Just letting your heart express whatever's true for you in the moment, whatever feels important for you in the moment. And then taking a couple more breaths, allow yourself to feel outward from the center of your heart. So strong, grounded, wide. Your awareness wide. Make it as wide as the room, or as wide as the neighborhood, or as wide as the earth, or as wide as the cosmos. And notice what happens to your nervous system as you widen your awareness. Notice how the focus on self gets diminished the wider your awareness is, feeling the forests and the oceans and the stars and all the other humans and the animals and the children and the dolphins. Everything that is alive. Just notice how whatever was really important about you starts to fade away. And you become one piece of a beautiful, deep collective. And just feel that collective now. Feel everything that is alive. For just a few moments, we won't stay here much longer. All that life, every tree, every rock, every animal, every human. And just give a nice bow to humanity and life. And then let's begin our call.
All right, so we have a few people in the queue. I want to start there, John?
Yeah. And if you had a question, if you had a question pre-planned, check in, feel if it's still the most appropriate question for you to ask, and we'll go as deep as we can.
Great. All right, so we're going to start with Julia Rose. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi.
Hello, Julia.
Hi, John. I'm actually just like overcome with, I just feel so deeply moved and appreciated by you, and that you chose this work to do, because it has been really needed by me. When you were saying all that life, I just kind of cracked me right open. So I just want to say thank you. I've been on these calls for a while. I've been wanting to say that for a while. Thank you for this work.
Sure.
So
what else am I going to do?
You're going to help heal me is what you're going to help do. Oh, you mean in this life? Yeah.
In this life, yeah. What do I have to fucking surf all day?
I don't know if you watch Dave Chappelle at all, but he did this. He did a bit, and I love him. And at the end, he quoted his mom by saying, "Sometimes you have to be the lion so you can be the lamb that you really are." Mm. And you know, I'm a mental health clinician, work with trauma all day, done a lot of trauma work of my own. And I have developed really like strong masculine and boundaries. And these are parts of myself that I know I needed, and also that I'm actually really proud of, help me navigate life. Mm. And in my career and all the things. And I think I suffer a lot at the idea that would be unattractive to somebody, you know, or that's like too masculine. And, you know, I'm trying to reconcile. I'm obviously like very a tenderoni, you know, and I feel deeply and hard. Right. But I just struggle with, I guess it's going to be attractive to the right person, you know. I guess it's as simple as that.
Well, no, actually, it's a little more complicated. Okay. Yeah, and I hope this is helpful. And I mean, look, we get so many questions like this from women who have cultivated their capacity for the masculine in the way you described, purpose-driven, boundary-driven, all of those things. And you know, the truth of the matter is, any masculine, in a woman, in a man, any masculine is incredibly attractive when it's integrated with heart, right? So structure without heart is rigid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when I say literal, I mean literally heart, like we talked about softening your heart. So oftentimes what you're worried is unattractive, not just you. I'm talking about I'm trying to address a lot of women here who may have similar issues. What you're identifying for yourself possibly is where you get rigid and a little disconnected from your heart as you move into structure. Does that feel true?
Yes. Okay. And
and it wouldn't bother you. Let me put it that way. It wouldn't bother you if it was connected to heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wouldn't. So what you're pointing out is actually very good. It's almost like your own feminine is saying, hey, structure is great, but the way your mind is wrapping it is it won't be attractive. But the way your heart is actually feeling it, in my opinion, is that's not who I am totally. That's not all of who I am.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Right. So what we're talking about here is I mean, this has been my kick for a while. I mean, I'm writing on it. I've been talking about it, but integration in all moments of structure and heart. So if you imagine the most attractive masculine practitioner in front of you, I'm imagining he would be solid, grounded, just kind of like what we did, like feeling all of life, feeling you, right? Cracked
Yeah.
open, but solid,
Yeah.
right? That is attractive to everybody.
Yeah.
That is attractive to everybody. And every man has feminine as well.
Yeah.
And his feminine will love the fact that he can trust your masculine with his heart. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I, so it's important for a man to be able to relax the masculine
Yeah.
and trust yours.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll stop in a second and let you respond, but I just wanted to set this as a framework for everybody. So it's healthy.
Yeah.
It's healthy. And it's also sexy. Like anytime you bring energy to structure, it will be sexy. Now, ultimately, there's a dance that wants to be played, right? Where there's like structure and then surrender and your masculine, everybody's masculine is the awareness that knows where to move.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So you might say, and I'm talking about a relational moment. You might say like, okay, in this moment, my let's put it in this moment, I'm holding structure because he feels tender. But in the following moment, he's taken a deep breath and grounded and kind of found himself. And so you release a little bit of structure, right?
Yeah.
And there's this fluid dance that should happen in relationship, which is not just about you should be all feminine and he should be all masculine. That's
Yeah.
fucking prison.
Totally.
That's a fucking prison. I just want to tell everybody that you do not need to be more masculine. You do not need to be more feminine. You need to, I'll say, you need to cultivate all of it and let the moment dictate what's needed based on your capacity. So, does that give you something more to chew on, or is there anything more you want to say about how I could support you specifically?
I think, I mean, it's all, I'm not going to chew on it. I'm just going to let it in, I think it's in the beginning of trying to dance with someone, I often either feel like a bull in a china shop, right? Like I'm fucking like doing shit wrong, like
How do you know you're doing shit wrong?
I either I know and I don't know.
I'm going to argue that you probably don't know. And even if you did something wrong, who doesn't make mistakes in relationship, in early relationship, especially? Yeah. So now you're getting to the meat of the issue, which is your story about your own, about yourself.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
And what if you could just hold, let's just practice with this for a second. So whatever structure feels good for you, maybe, feeling the earth, spine strong, heart soft, right? And then just tell us from this place what your heart needs most from life, from relationship.
Just tenderness.
Okay, so great. So you need tenderness, right?
Just right now.
Yeah. Beautiful. But more than just right now, like in life in general, like in relationship?
In this place in my life right now.
Great. So that's a need. Can everybody feel like that's a need? That's not just like a whimsical desire. Like I need tenderness. Yeah. And in this moment, you have you have structure, you're like tall and proud,
Yeah.
and you're also super tender,
Yeah.
right? And but that is attractive. I don't know what to say. And so it's that real, the thing to notice for anybody, man or woman, when structure, boundaries, will often hear, like, I'm setting boundaries, right? I'll often hear that, right? Boundaries is oftentimes a code word for rigidity.
Yeah.
And if heart is disconnected from boundary, because if you said, I need you to be more tender with me, to a lover that was in front of you that was maybe not feeling you, right? That's setting a boundary, but it's also expressing a need.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And this is different than work, right? In work, I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not a life coach. You know what I mean? I'm not here to help you
I
with your work.
think
Yeah.
I think I get the two. I think I get the two. They're starting to like conflate with each other, work and life. And I don't know if this COVID stuff, I'm just like working in the place that I'm living. I'm not, it's so.
It's challenging for all of us. Are you living with
Yeah,
somebody?
just my dog.
Okay. All right. But so here's something I want to give you something you can work with.
Yeah.
All right. Work. That's hard work you're doing. It's hard work you're doing, right? So I want to just honor you. That's hard work, right? At the end of work, what you just did, where you got still and strong and connected to your heart's need, that allows you to set your own direction for self-care. So I got off work, and this can happen in relationship or solo, right? Like, you could get off work and then you feel into your heart's need, because that's the theme today. You're feeling into your heart's need, and you're like, I just need somebody to take care of me tonight. Let's say you have a boyfriend, and you say,
I
like,
don't, John.
oh, well, but let's just say you did. I'm speaking to everybody, right? Let's say you did. Let's say you got off, right? And you say, I have a boyfriend. Well, then you could communicate that. I need you to take care of me tonight. And if you don't, then you being with the need of wanting somebody to take care of you, because that could be a need, especially after a day at work, like the work you do. I feel this sometimes. It's like, I just need somebody to take care of me. I've been giving. Like, I need someone to just tell me what to do, love on me, snuggle me down, like put a little binky in my mouth. I'm like, I need somebody to actually do that for me.
I
Right.
know.
And when there's nobody, when I'm not in relationship, me feeling that for myself is the first step of self-care, self-love. Self-care is kind of a self-love, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I addressed your question, but I'm just kind of taking you someplace that feels appropriate for now.
I just feel like you danced with me in the way I needed to be danced with,
Yeah. Your heart is never, I'll wrap it up with this, right? No matter what's going, like, trust your heart, because you have a really beautiful and tender heart. It's obvious. Trust your heart to be magnetic. Trust your desires. We say this a lot in the women's program. We talk about this a lot in the women's program. Your desire is magnetic. Desire / need, I'll call this, right, for the purposes here. So if your desire, let's say you were seeing somebody and you're FaceTiming with him, right? And you're just like, I need somebody to take care of me, or I need tenderness. and you're in that need, like really feeling it. We're going to do a little practice later on, so I'll show you what this looks like. You're literally in that need, feeling that need, tenderness, and you're showing them. Now all of a sudden it's magnetic. Does that make sense to everybody? The more you're with your need, you're with the truth of your heart, the more magnetic you are, man or woman.
Yeah.
Right? The more magnetic you are. And so the more you're thinking about a story about how your need's not going to get met or not going to get filled, or they never, or they are, the less attractive you are. That's what's attractive, is in the heart, in the body.
Yeah.
Attractive is not in the head thinking about.
Yeah.
Everybody get that? Like, that's attractive. You can be physically, whatever traditional beauty is, and in your head all the time, and that's not very attractive. It's not. Yeah. So trust your heart and trust your desire to be magnetic. That's the thing I think I want to leave you with. Trust your desire to be magnetic, and whatever your desire is, when you're done with work, because we're in the relational sphere, give it to yourself first, fully. And that's how you actually magnetize somebody who wants to meet it. If we don't meet our own needs, if we reject our own needs, like I need tenderness, if you're not tender with yourself, you will attract people who won't be tender with you.
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, fuck, my heart is so tender, like what can I do? Do I cry? Do I move? Do I lay on the ground and put my hands on my body? Do I just breathe? Do I call a friend? Like, what can I do to just be tender with my own heart? Every time we do that, we're magnetizing somebody who wants to do that with us to us.
Yeah. I
So
call John
that's your
Wineland.
practice.
I call John Wineland on the community call with my tender heart.
Good. But I can't be with you every night.
I know
work.
it's one of my many tools in the toolbox.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Julia. So
Okay.
this concept of need, of being with your own need, it's something that I've been talking about for a while. It's something that I've been working on with my teachers. It's something I work on my own. To be really clear, one of the great tragedies of practice, of this kind of practice, is that we want to jump into this kind of sacred, or a third stage, David would say, practice, to the detriment of our own need. And so I'm saying, let's take a step back. Let's connect to the need first, and then reveal what art wants to come through that need. Okay, with ourselves, with our partner, etc. Those of you who've been with me in the groups know that there's an actual yoga to this. Right? There's an actual yoga to slowing down, to feeling the root of your heart, to feeling the need, and then there's an actual yoga to connecting to your partner's need from there. Then there's a yoga to revealing something sexual and juicy from there, not on top of there, but from there. So that's the mechanism of it. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody with me on this? Like, there's a mechanism to feeling your own need, feeling your partner's need, then fucking like animals from that place. Or whatever's on tap for y'all, caressing each other with body paints, whatever's on tap for y'all. But it doesn't happen without a really deep connection to your heart's need.
All right, thank you. Okay, Beck, you are up.
Hey, John, I'm Beck.
Hello, Beck.
Hey, I'm in your course in a couple of weeks. We haven't met before, so nice to meet you.
Great.
I'm in a relationship with a woman, and I kind of have a couple of piggybacked questions as I'm trying to work out the answer to my own question, really. The issue is I want deeper states. I want to go further. And with her, there's a lot of attraction. We have a fantastic erotic interplay, really nice. But I find that the further I go, the deeper I go, she feels lost and disconnected. And so when I'm feeling like I have a satisfactory sexual union, like, well, that was poof, like, boom, she feels like I kind of lost you, you know. And on top of that, I find it, because I'm trying to have her track me, I'm finding trust is an issue, because I feel like I'm tracking her with some kind of, I don't know, like focus, and so I don't have this kind of expansive quality. And anyway, if you could talk on topic and help me somehow, that'd be
So
great.
what are you wanting? What are you wanting out of that exchange more?
I want bigger, deeper states that last longer, that feed me, like in kind of a spiritual sense, like spiritual states, like I, divine goddess, am melted into the union of the universal black nothingness, and recognize that the I am that I thought I was is not what I was, that I am what is, something like that.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so when I hear you talk about it, right, you're talking about a masculine spiritual practice, right? Which is disillusion is a masculine spiritual practice, right? What witnessing as the infinite I amness is our masculine. Is that, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if that now on the opposite, just for those who don't know, merging union, right, is the feminine. Like the part of us that wants to merge is the feminine. The part of us that wants to dissolve and kind of dissolve into nothingness is our masculine, man or woman, doesn't matter, however someone identifies. So if that's, and our masculine craves depth, our feminine craves connection, right? Like depth of connection. And so when I hear you talk, I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. You're wanting a deeper spiritual experience of expansion and dissolution into the infinite. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I guess, like, honestly, I should have defined it in the masculine and feminine, but that is what I feel like I want more of, versus connection. I feel like I have connection. What I want is dissolution.
Right. Well, your partner's not feeling that. So your partner's feeling your desire because the feminine gives us feedback, right? This is true with man or woman, right? Like when she feels so when the infinite becomes more important to me than her body, she will feel hurt. She will feel dropped. Not that there's anything wrong with me wanting the infinite. That's my nature. That's bliss for me. I'm assuming for you too, right? The bliss of like just wanting to melt into the infinite. Now, the way to work with that is to feel the infinite through her heart, right? So you feel like imagine right now that you were feeling her body, like go ahead and close your eyes and feel a moment of really feel the moment of deepest ecstasy that you've had with her or that you've witnessed in her body. Just bring that back to your awareness, right? And feel the fluttering of her heart or the ecstasy or the orgasm and feel all of that, okay? Now, really let your body and your heart merge with it, connect with it. And just give me a nod when you can actually feel like your heart and body are merged with it. Oh, good. Now, without losing any of that, feel through your merged bodies into the expanse of this moment to the end of the cosmos. Feel without losing the feeling of absolute merging. Feel through it. Keep your eyes closed to the infinite, and let me know when you can feel both. It's a little tricky at first.
clunky, but yeah, I'm getting you.
Yeah. Okay. So now, if you are practicing on your own, you're having a solo sexual practice, you don't need to worry about another person's heart and body so much. It's just like, all right, here's my pleasure. And my pleasure is, dissolving in, I'm feeling the infinite through my pleasure. But with another human, we have to feel our pleasure, their pleasure. And if you're in the masculine, if you're holding the masculine for the sexual moment, your body becomes the container for her pleasure. So this is deeper sexual yoga, right? But so you're actually breathing her pleasure down into your belly, down into your cervix. You're breathing her pleasure down into your body, and you're merging with her pleasure through your breath and body awareness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it all makes
Cool.
sense, totally. And I can feel the moment. In that, just that practice was super intuitive. I can feel the moment where I'm like, okay, I'm there. You come with me. Let's go. And I'm dropping her. So I can feel the moment. It's not that I'm not breathing her and I'm with her. Like we got all to there. We got there, but then I like go, okay, now go. And of course she feels dropped because I'm not having that experience of going, okay, now I take you.
Right. And again, if she's in the feminine or you're in your feminine, whoever's in the feminine is not going to want to take a trip to the edge of the universe so much. They're going to want to be in rapturous moment of merger.
Yeah.
Right. Now, one of the ways that I work with this is to literally feel the center line, your center line, pressed into her center line, like from your throat to your cervix or to your perineum, right? Pressing your center line into her center line, looking into her eyes. It's almost like you're merging with her heart, you're penetrating her with your center line. Then you're feeling through her into the infinite. And that actually deepens it for her as well, without a disconnection. You with me?
I'm with you. I have one more query. So the thing that I couldn't resolve was in other circumstances when I've been with women who are more, let's say, advanced tantrically, who have a lot of, invocation and ritual already in their bodies. I don't have this same sense of disconnect. I don't have the same feeling like that. And I wonder if there's something I can say to her, because that's something I'm doing that she won't necessarily grok, but is there something I can say to her to help?
No, I would say as little as possible.
Do
Don't say. Deepen first is another way to put that. Like if you want your partner to be deeper, right? And also too, right? It's like you're saying, oh, well, she's not as good a dancer as these other people who are advanced dancers. Well, yeah,
no,
okay.
Yeah,
but I get that. That sounds like, and that's cool. That's cool. Like I understand your desire for more advanced dance, right? That's okay. I totally get that. However, if you're with her, the deeper you go into your heart and then feel the infinite expanse through the core of your heart, right? So all of our hearts has a core, and that core is infinite. That core is a portal to the infinite. Can you feel me, Beck?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The core of our heart. Then we have the part of our heart that is very human and emotional and loves and feels pleasure and swells and beats. Right? And the more that we can feel both of those things at the same time while we're making love, right? And feel the body and that in the body, which does not change, the deeper our partners will go. When we go to one or the other. So if she was an advanced practitioner, you could basically be I am the representation of consciousness through the body. I am the infinite through the body. I'm like the you know, the penetration of every cell is conscious, infinite dissolution, unchanging, infinite. And she is energy dissolving, and we're coming together. Now, that's very advanced love making, where one partner says, I'm going to be the masculine, and one partner says, I'm going to be all feminine, all masculine, all feminine, and we're going to be in union. That's beautiful, but very few people actually are advanced enough to know how to do that. That's the goal ultimately, right? But when your partner is not quite there, then you have to stay deep in both pleasure in your body and depth in your heart, infinite depth in your heart. And that will deepen them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when and I'll say this to everybody, when we're worried about our partner not going deep enough, it means we're not going deep enough. It means we're not deep enough in our heart. Either we're not feeling the depth of the root of our heart. And I'll give you guys a couple ways to deepen right now. Feel the bottom of your heart, the very root, the apex that's pointing down. Just feel it. Now take a deep breath into it. Can you feel that you just deepened in the moment? Okay. And so rooting our heart deeper into our body, right? That will deepen any experience that we're having, whether it's a kiss or whether we're 5 seconds from orgasm or whether we're just in a conversation with somebody. Okay. There's more to it, but those are pretty easy to start with. Does that help, Beck? Did I get to the crux of what you were looking for? Or is there some other piece?
No, I think you kind of nailed it. I'm definitely stepping out and away and having expectations and then having story and then having ideas, and none of that's helpful. And you've helped me nail where I thought I was going deeper, but actually I was becoming more interiorized and separated. I'm deepening, but in a way separately. So that really like gave me an experiential feel of where exactly it's happening. So yeah, helpful, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. And just I'll speak to the other masculine partners here, those who are, play the masculine a lot. When your partner's giving you feedback about disconnection, more often than not, they're onto something. They're onto something. And so our it's to men in particular who get very defensive about a woman's complaint about disconnection, right? I know none of the men on this call because y'all are so ruthlessly introspective, but normally guys will get defensive when somebody calls out, but what do you mean? We just did this, we just did that, or I was looking into your eyes, or I felt really connected. Most of the time they're onto something. And so I was taught early on, first thing is, where are they right? Like, where are they right? If someone's complaining that I'm not conscious enough, I'm not connected enough, I'm not deep enough, where are they right? Start there. And then that often will lead to a way of deepening for both of us. All right. Thank you, Beck. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so John, we are about 40 minutes from the end of the call. Do you want to take another question or transition from here?
No, let's take another question, then we'll go into a practice.
Okay, so hopefully I'm pronouncing this right. Ole?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Great to meet you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a ton of questions. I don't know, actually. I think at the moment, I've been in a relationship for 2 years now with Elvira, and I used to not be in long relationships. I used to be in relationships for 12 months, sometimes less. And then, I changed. So that has kind of been my pattern for many years. And obviously realized that I needed to work with, going deeper into relationships, which I think I have, I'm really proud that I've, actually been able to be 2 years in a relationship. And in many ways, I think a part of me feels that I'm landing, I'm in a whole new situation with that relationship, because it's very much about intimacy and it's about going deeper. And I used to do a lot of practice, used to do a lot of work with data. I've been in men's groups for many years, and for some reason, it's just really difficult for me in the relationship to go back into that practice again, especially when we make
what
love.
practice are you talking about?
So I'm talking about when we make love, to go deeper with each other. And
so what happens? Like, what happens?
I think I draw back sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes I don't find it so maybe attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so there's a moment where you don't feel as attracted to her?
Yeah, or where I don't feel the lovemaking is so attractive necessarily. And then I sometimes I feel I draw back.
All right. Okay, perfect.
And there's also moments where it's beautiful, where I've actually managed to break through that. But it's almost like afterwards, I don't feel it in the same way as I used to do.
Right.
I didn't feel that kind of melting.
Okay, let me come in here, because I don't want this to get lost. What you're describing is a disconnection from something that you need. So if you need something from the lovemaking, let's be specific. Like if you needed something from the lovemaking and you really felt that that root of your heart, that base of your heart, what would you need more of? I'll give you a few examples here. More energy, more dark energy, more surrender, more enthusiasm, more like, what are any of those ringing a bell?
Yeah, I think more surrender.
More surrender. Great.
More moving.
Okay, great. No. Stop there. Because you lose it. I was watching you talk, and half the time you spoke, your eyes were looking up, which means that all of your energy is going up, right? And then when you said, I want more surrender, you went up. Ladies, you feel what I'm feeling? You feel what I'm feeling? So you will not get the surrender that you want while your energy is up.
I think one of the reasons is also, okay, I can see myself again. Sorry. I was a little bit, it's a little bit difficult.
No, but I'm not judging you, man. I'm just saying, like, these are habits that we don't recognize that we're doing, and our partners feel it. So if you need more surrender, nothing wrong with that. That's a legitimate, valid, masculine need. Like, I want all of her fucking heart. I want every inch of her heart. I want the deepest. I want her to trust me fully. I want to feel complete. So can you feel that as I'm talking about it? Can you feel it in your heart?
I can.
Okay, good. So go into your heart. Sit up for me if you don't mind. Go into your heart and really feel like how deeply you need complete surrender and trust. Breathe into it. And just when you can feel that, like you're with that need completely, you're with your own heart completely, just give me a nod so I can see that you've touched it. Okay, good.
I feel it.
Now, good. So just stay with it, keep feeling it, and then look at the screen and just let us feel that you feel like, I need your surrender. Is she on this call by chance? Is your partner on this call? Okay, so she's not. So pick somebody else. It's okay. It's okay. Pick somebody else. Pick somebody else. And just stay with the need. I need your surrender. Good. Just keep breathing it. Breathe into the bottom of your heart and let your heart soften. Like, I need your surrender. I need your trust. I need your complete openness. I need you to dissolve in my presence. Okay, good. That's better. That's better. And so you being with that need will deepen, will evoke more surrender. Now, if you're with this need and you're making love, like let's say you feel this in your heart, what do you think she might need in that moment? So just imagine that you can really feel what she needs in those moments. Does she need more depth from you, more breath from you, more love from you? What is she needing?
More breath.
Okay.
More depth.
Great. So she's feeling like, I need your depth. Is that a fair? She's not here, so we're just assuming.
Yeah.
Right. So she needs your depth. So now you're with like, I need your surrender, and you can feel her need for more depth. Okay. And from there, something will want to emerge. Maybe you pull her tighter. Maybe you breathe into your belly and press your belly into her. Maybe you say, give me all of it. Give me all of it. Maybe you hold her tight, Something will emerge from that place. Do you know what I'm saying? And it might be, even look, if you just stayed with that part of your heart and felt her need and just locked into her with breath and presence, you would be deeper than 99.9% of the people who are having sex. But from there, something else may want to emerge. And who knows? It's fucking divine. It's divine. But it's divine from the place of true heart connection, like really feeling what the other person needs in the moment so that their heart can open more. So most of us will either disconnect from our own need in order to feel others' needs, right? Or we'll get totally into our own need and not feel their need at all. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Okay. So the yoga is to go deep into your heart, the root of your heart, the base of your heart, to own what you need. Like, I need your surrender. Like, nobody's going to argue with you there, bro. Right? There's not a man on the planet that doesn't want more surrender, doesn't need more surrender sexually, who's masculine identified. Right? So no one's going to argue. There's no arguing that. That's legit. Now, what does she need? And can your heart feel her heart from there? So I want to stop and just see if there's anything that's coming up for you, but I wanted to give the mechanism of it first.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, and it resonates very much with me, for me to practice that with her and lead her to that. And that's also what she has been asking me to do for a long time. I mean, it's also the polarity is a little bit tricky, because I've been very sick. When we met, I was very sick for like one and a half year, and it's not, and my mom died, so she kind of also took a little bit that role. So it's really tricky. And she's,
yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's tricky how we get disconnected, but it's not that hard to get. I just saw you. I just saw you do it. You owned the need for surrender. and you deepened your breath.
mm,
Nothing else was really needed.
mm,
Everything got kind of still in you. Everything kind of slowed down in you. And if you stay there and just stay super simple, this is a way for natural polarity to develop,
mm,
is to feel the truth of your, if you're feminine identified, man or woman, your need will likely be about some kind of way that you want to be taken, ravished, connected with. If you're masculine identified in the moment, it will likely be something around how you want to be trusted, how you want to be, filled with energy, how you want to feel surrender, all of those things. That these are sexual, but they're also relational moments. And when we connect with those needs, those core needs of our masculine and feminine hearts, let's call them, polarity happens
mm,
almost immediately.
mm,
Real polarity, like true polarity, like heart-centered polarity, not the fake kind of look at what a goddess I am and look at what a, look at how still I am, not the fake shit, the real stuff, right? And so that's where we want to go. We want to start with the real stuff and then let the practice move from there.
mm,
So that would be the one simple thing I would give you, man. Feel the part, own the part of you that wants her to surrender. Then from there, connect that part of your heart to her heart. And what does she need from you? Does she
mm,
need you to breathe deeper? Does she need you to ground more? Does she need you to be more like present? Does she need to feel your fierce heart? If she's feminine, she likely needs all of those things,
mm,
right? So start there and just really ground in that and see if that helps deepen. Something that you said, I want to just extrapolate on for everybody. When we start to disconnect in relationship, this is true for all of us, and it's often missed. What is happening is our needs are not getting met. People will say, oh, there's less attraction. Oh, there's less da da da. No, your need is not getting met. Your need for more surrender, for more energy, for more tenderness, for more depth, for more trust, for more, it's not getting met. If your need was getting met, you wouldn't want to go anywhere else.
mm,
You guys with me? This is why this discussion about needs is so fucking overdue in this community. because there's this thing about like, oh, I need to, bring my practice. Well, yeah, through the truth of your heart. So when you're losing attraction, or when you're getting disinterested in your partner, it's often because, or they're getting disinterested in you, it's because core needs are not getting met. If you ask that question first and you go into rather than just make it a mental thing and say, this is where most people go. I made a list of my needs that you're not meeting.
mm.
So here we go. Let's have a conversation about how you're not meeting my need.
Exactly.
We all know how that one goes.
Just gonna blow up, yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants that. However, this idea of like really connecting and grounding in my heart, the root of my heart, my need for ... and then feeling her heart's need from that place. Now we're talking.
Mm,
Now we're in our bodies. Now
mm,
we're in our hearts. Now we're connecting, deepest part of my body to deepest part of her body. Does that make sense?
mm. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's what depth is. I'm saying this to you, Ole, but I'm saying this to everybody. That's what depth is. Depth is the bottom of my fucking heart, my breath into my balls, the core of my body connecting to the core of her body. That is depth.
Mm.
It's literal. Everybody with me on that? It's literal. The deepest part of my heart, the deepest need, the deepest breath, connecting to them. That's how we deepen. It's literal. So we will strategize as humans about how to get more depth of connection, more depth of energy, more depth of love. We'll strategize, and we're going in the wrong direction. No, we want to go in to it and connect from there. So I hope that gave you something to work with, Ole, because your question's a great question, which is, and a lot of people run into this, what to happen when disconnection starts to emerge in our relationship from habits that we've developed.
Beautiful, John. Thank you so much. I have a last question.
Okay.
Which is a little bit off track, and I don't want you necessarily, I don't want to take too much of the time, but I'm been called to also do men's work for quite some years, and you know, done a coach, trained a lot of men, mostly in corporates, but also very much around relationships and, you know, their personal challenges. And I'm sitting with that website that I'm about to launch, and I'm gonna ask a lot of guys for feedback, obviously, and in my peer group before I send it out. A part of me don't believe that I can do it. So I'm just like, I just want to hear, when you started, what did you do? And can you give me one advice?
Yeah,
or
no, sure, man. Because for sake of time, I'll just give you, a minute or two of my experience. Okay. Yeah. So there's two things to think about when you're working with a business: the structure that holds the business, which is the masculine, your website, your marketing materials, the depth of your copy, all of that, right? And then the practice or the flow, right? It's the masculine and the feminine of your business. So what I'd like you to do, and this goes for everybody who's doing a business like this, or you can use this in any business, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How deep is my practice of embodied men's work, or whatever it is that you want to teach? How deep is my practice? Ask your friends in the men's group, rate me. Where am I? This is what I want to teach, rate me. And then from there, you see, look, okay, so if you're a 5, what would it take for you to get to an 8? Maybe they'd say, go sit on a rock for an hour each day and breathe into the rock. I don't know. They'll give you something to deepen yourself so that your practice will meet your intention. To have an intention without a practice backing it up is where we get a lot of people teaching stuff that they aren't really practicing. And that is a legitimate concern. And so you're right to be concerned about that. I'm not going to sit here and say everybody should just coach because they feel like it. No. What is your practice? Is your practice deep enough to teach what you want to? And ask yourself that, and have your men reflect back to you. Then when they can reflect back to you, your practice is deep enough, then you launch your website. Since you're asking me, you know what I'm saying? And ask them to be ruthless. Like, you don't want them to just be like, oh yeah, you're great. No, be fucking ruthless with me. Like, where is my practice not meeting my intention? And tell me, like, what do I need to do to get to an 8, 9, or 10? Does this make sense to everybody else? I mean, I know there's a lot of coaches and teachers on this. So if you want to teach something, if you have a deep desire, I honor that. But make sure that your practice meets the intention. Otherwise, you will be bringing unformed process into the world, which is not what you want to do. So I honor your intention to teach men's work. And this is why I'm starting a teacher training program. And this is why it's 1,000 hours of teacher training. Like, it is not a small thing. It's a 3-year, it's like becoming a fucking doctor. So this is why, because teaching is both learning the process, like the mechanism of how to deliver a practice, how to run energy, how to lead a meditation, how to lead a shadow practice, how to lead whatever. So there's the actual process of that, and learning how to do that requires nervous system training. But teaching is also clearing anything that would block me from being a clean vessel of what I want to transmit into the world. And most teacher training programs will just teach you that first part, but it's not, it's you are the teaching, my brother, right? You are the teaching. You are the teaching. I am the teaching. So if I'm coming here and talking to you about needs when I haven't been practicing being in my own heart's needs, then I'm lying to you. So I need to make sure that my practice meets my intention and I am the teaching. So having people reflect back to me, like I have 3 or 4 teachers I work with very regularly who I'm like, okay, where am I? What do I need to work on? What do I need to work on? What do I need to work on? It's part of the reason I'm here working with a teacher, you know, for 30 hours or so, more than that, shit, like almost 100 hours we'll be working together. What do I need to work on? Where do I need to go? How do I deepen? Right? Because I am the teaching and so are you. I hope that gives you something, man. I might have gone off on a tangent. My apologies if I did, but I'm obviously very passionate about this. And
Love
there's
it.
a lot of,
Love it.
yeah. And so I don't think there's anything wrong, Ole, with you raising the bar for your own offering. That would make me trust you even more. If you're like, I went to my men, they said, I need to do this for 3 months before I launch my website. I'm going to go do this for 3 months before I launch my website. When you launch that website, this feeling of should I do it or should I not do it will be gone.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll take that challenge. Thank you.
Right on, man. Right on. And good
Appreciate
luck,
it.
man. Good luck. And I hope to hear back from you. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Yep. Let's just take a 3-minute break. And I want you to come back. We're going to go into a practice around the, it's just a little bio break. Grab a sip of water, shake out your body, go use the restroom, whatever you need to do. We're going to take a 3-minute break. I want you to come back. We're going to go into a practice and a meditation, and then I'm going to have you write. Okay. So grab a chance for you to grab a notebook if you need to. I'll see you at 14 after the hour.
For those of you who have your hands raised, I'm going to be lowering all the hands now, but if John does take questions at the end, please feel free to raise your hand again. All right, welcome back, everyone. Okay, John, whenever you're ready.
All right, great. So everybody come into a comfortable, relaxed, but alert position. And I'm going to have you close your eyes for this. So this can be lying down if that's comfortable for you. It can be sitting up. I prefer sort of sitting in a strong meditative position, but it can be anything that's alert but relaxed. And right off the bat, I want you to press your tongue against the roof of your mouth. And I want you to focus on opening the back of your throat and begin to breathe in through your nose through this really wide open back throat. Okay, so breathing down, make your nose really strong, like just make the breath through the nose strong, whatever that feels like to you. And see if you can relax that throat open even more so it's big and wide like a big tube. And then focus on breathing in through the nose, through this big open throat, down into the back of your heart. So feel the breath will actually travel down your trachea, which goes behind your heart. And so feel the breath move down into the bottom rear of your heart, that back of your heart, that's that bottom rear space. It's very tender. Good. And so just focus for about 30 seconds on really bringing energy and awareness to the bottom rear of your heart. The back of your heart, the breath. And then I want you to widen your breath and literally make your breath stronger so that you're breathing into your side ribs, your back ribs, still aware of that back place of your heart, that very tender rear quadrant, low rear quadrant of your heart. But also become aware of the ribs, breathing into the ribs, feeling the front of the ribs, the back of the ribs, the sides of the ribs. So ribs strong, heart soft and activated. Good. And then continuing to keep your awareness now on that back part of your heart, that lower back part of your heart. I want you to feel now what you are needing most could either be in life or it could be in relationship. So it could be, I need freedom. I need healing. Like, what is your heart? Now that your awareness and your breath are connected deeply to your heart, what is it that you're needing most from life right now? It could be something in your relationship. It could be a kind of love, a texture of love. It could be a texture of sex. It could be, and there might be two or three things. So don't be afraid to, but usually one feels most prevalent. For me, what I needed was space and healing, right? Recently, it's part of the reason why I came to Hawaii, right? Because I needed space and healing. So what do you need most? What do you need most? And really just get in connection with it. And bring your breath, continue to bring your breath through, breathing down through your open throat, tongue on the roof of the mouth, through the back of the heart, feeling the bottom rear of the heart. Really pack this need down into the core of your heart. Like, be with it fully in the base of your heart. Whatever the need is, maybe you need touch. Maybe you need tenderness. Maybe you need to be completely seen. Maybe you need just like affection. Maybe you need someone to take care of you. Maybe you need to be completely let go of responsibilities. What is it that your heart really yearns for? And I want you to listen. And then I want you to breathe with it. And I want you to take this need and I want you to pack it down into the root of your heart. Be with it. Compress it down into the root of your heart. and just breathe with it, just for a few more moments. Nothing but you and that need. Nothing but you and your deepest need. Really allow yourself to feel it. Allow your heart to soften around it. Allow your solar plexus to get warmed by it. No apologies. There's no defense. You don't have to defend this to anybody. You don't have to explain it to anybody. Just be with that need. And for these next, let's call it 3 breaths, I want you to just be completely in love with the part of you that needs this. Bring absolute love and tenderness and complete acceptance to the part of you that needs this. Continuing to feel it in your own heart, being super connected to the part of you that needs this. Unconditional love, acceptance to the part of you that needs this. Really make a connection. And then I want you to this last piece of this meditation, what I want you to do is imagine this need being met. So either you're meeting it for yourself, meaning you're taking the freedom that you need, or you're meeting it with a partner, meaning you're getting taken care of in the most beautiful way, or you're being fucked open in the most beautiful way, or you're being ravished in the most beautiful way, or you're receiving surrender in the most beautiful way. Like, imagine this need being met. Really see it in your mind's eye, feel it in your heart. Just take a couple more breaths and really just allow the joy of this need being fully met to spread through your chest and through your body. And give a little bit of gratitude, like thanking it in advance for being met in such a perfect and beautiful way. Feeling how this is as much of a possibility as anything. And then giving a bow to your deep need, to the part of you that needs that, and to the way that that need could be met. Really honoring all 3 of those things. Taking one final cleansing breath and then exhale with a sigh. And as you come back to the call, just notice how it feels in your body. Whether you could actually feel your heart a little more expansive, or yourself a little more available, or maybe you're cracked open a little bit. All right, grab your notebook, and I want you to write down, what was the need? What was the need? Just 1 or 2 sentences. Maybe there's 2 needs, so if there's 2 or 3, right, just write them down. Like, what were they? Peace and freedom, complete care, whatever it was, just 2, 3 words. It doesn't have to be a big explanation. I need to be trusted. I need to be respected. I need to be recognized. These are often really true for us, for the masculine especially. I need dark sexual energy. Whatever your need was, I need more energy from my partner. Whatever it is, write it down. Good. And then I want you to take literally 1 minute, and I want you to just, whatever you can from the scene of it being met fully, write down whatever you can remember from that vision of having this need met fully. Just take a minute, maybe 90 seconds. I was getting worshipped in this way, or I was running down a beach, or I was hiking the Nepali coast, or I was, you know, under a waterfall, or I was, you know, getting ravished in this way or seen in this way, like whatever came to you. And then bringing that to a close in the next 20 seconds, finishing what you're writing. And then popcorn style, I would just like to hear from anybody who feels like they're brave enough to share their deepest heart need. Just raise your hand. Nicolette will call on you, and we could probably get, so no explanation, just what it is. Like, I need to be dot dot dot.
Right, Patrick Leary.
My heart has the need to feel safe and financially secure.
Bija.
Okay.
Structure, containment.
Okay, so the need, I just want everybody to really connect, feel the need that she has to be contained and given structure. That's a need. It's a need. It's not like a whimsy desire. Okay, so if you're her man, you better fucking know that need. Okay, who's next?
Shannon Hardison. Shannon, yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself, Shannon.
Sorry, connection, alignment, and freedom.
Connection, alignment, and freedom. Okay. Okay.
Tanawat.
Full depth of joyfulness and living life to the fullest.
So depth of joyfulness. All right. Great. And when you, I'm just going to ask you, when you saw that need getting met, what was happening?
Was eye contact, really.
Eye contact. So,
Yeah.
so you were having eye contact with your partner in a very deep and joyful way. Is that what you're saying?
Like it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle. You like connect them, and it's like it's fit. And to me, it was really simple.
Great, great, great. Okay, keep going.
All right, Nicholas.
I need outlet for fierce warrior rage.
Ah, all right. Axe, if you got an axe, man, pick up an axe and head into the woods.
I have a boxing bag.
That'll work too. Yeah. Okay, right on.
All right,
What
Ash. Ash Mudra.
I need tenderness and what else did I write down? To be seen.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Marta.
Hi guys, I need to show up fully for myself, for my loved one, for my business, for my finances.
Okay, I'm going to say that's not a need. That's a childhood programming telling you that you need to do better. So I'm going to give you homework, Marta. I can't even see you on the screen, but I'm going to tell you that's not your need.
I don't know where I am. I'm not seeing myself either. Oh, I see
Okay, good. So the need is something that what do you need to feel? I'm just going to call that one out. Like, that's not a need.
I need to be seen,
Okay,
acknowledged.
great. Okay, that feels true. To be acknowledged, to be seen and acknowledged. Can you feel the difference between the
Yes.
two? Okay, good. Right? It should make you want to cry. Feeling your own need should make you want to cry, because we don't do it. We'll say, no, I just need to do more. I need to work harder. Like, that's what I need to do. I need to get my shit together. No, that's not a need. I need to be acknowledged, right? And be with that. Okay, good. Sorry, I didn't mean to pick on you, love. I just want to make sure
No, thank
that,
you. That's great. First time on this call, and it's
okay, good,
amazing.
good. Okay, we have time for one more.
Okay, RJ.
I need to be seen.
All right, great. To be seen. So feel that part of your heart that wants to be seen. And when you imagined yourself being seen, what did it feel like?
It was the one thing that made me cry.
But what was happening? Somebody telling you how great you were, how much they appreciated you?
Yep, I was accepted. I was honored. I was raved about by my partner.
Awesome. Raved about by my. Do you see the clarity that starts to emerge in terms of what we need in relationship and from ourselves once we go into these needs? Like, he needs his partner to rave about him. That's something that she could actually do if he brought it to her. Right? So once we cannot get fed if we're not clear what kind of food what kind of nutrients we need. All right. So I want to leave you guys with all of that to ponder. Like, this is not a one and done thing. This is a lifetime exploration. What is it that I truly need? And what would it feel like? What would be happening? What would have to happen for that need to get fully met? And even if you're not in a partnership, or you can't make that, A, what could you do to help make that happen? B, if you're in a partnership, what could you hold in your heart, right? And maybe communicate to them. And you could say, would you just rave about me for 5 minutes, baby? Like, I just need you to rave about me for 5 minutes. Are you cool with that? Most people would do that for their partners, yeah? Most people would be like, yeah, okay, I can't do it now, but at 5 o'clock, I'm gonna come back and I'll have a list of things that I fucking love about you. That's how we start to get our needs met, by acknowledging first in ourselves, and then being with those needs and getting clear on what it would take for our hearts to get met. Okay. I want all of you to sit with that until next month. Sit with it, journal about it, get clear about it, because that is the first step to getting your needs met. Okay. All right. Thank you all very, 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 very much. For those of you who've asked, we have 2 programs that are starting next month. Actually, they're starting in March, a men's program and a women's program. And they're going to be led online programs. So if you want more information on that, Nicolette's going to put it into the chat. And also, we do have a few spots for men available for the Valentine's workshop, and couples. So those are the things that are available if you want to go deeper in this work. And then finally, I want to thank you for the support you've given Claire's Place. So thank you very much for supporting Claire's Place Foundation. I'm sure she's smiling at it, and I'm certainly smiling at it. And thank you all for coming and trusting us with your hearts in this. I hope it was helpful, and I hope I gave you guys some stuff to work on. And Nicolette, when's our next discussion?
It's going to be actually just a few weeks away. Like first week of February. So we'll send you an email the Friday before, as always. And the recording, some of you have been asking about the recording. So we will have this on John's YouTube channel Just YouTube John Wineland. We'll have that up in just a few days. And then I put in a chat the links for Claire's Place, the virtual workshop, the Valentine's immersion, and the online program. So you can access all of that. And people are also asking about the teacher training. So we'll have that information out next month as well. So we should be able to in February have lots for you. But in the meantime, Valentine's and the online programs are available to you. So, all right.
Great. All right. Thank you all for coming this morning. Thank you so much. It's great to see everybody. You've got 2 weeks to become masters of your own deepest heart's needs, and then I look forward to hearing back from y'all.
All right. See
Great
you
week.
all on February 9th.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.